So how are you
Okay.
doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah. Sorry again for being late on this, but I'm happy to run everybody through the demo, answer questions. In fact, we could even start if there's specific questions that people are really curious to learn about. I'm happy to take that, or if everybody just says, "Yeah, show us the demo," feel free, and I'll highlight a couple things that we're particularly excited about on golf. And if you're lucky, I'll be able to show a couple things that we're gonna release here pretty soon too. So yeah, maybe
Cool.
maybe we can open it up to questions just to make sure I hit the right things for people.
Well, why don't you start, and then if we have questions, we'll definitely throw them at you.
Okay, cool. Um, well, let's do this. Let me share my screen. Oh, I'll need sharing from whoever
Yep.
manages that.
So what I'm going to do is um, make you a host. Sorry. Let me get rid of the spotlight.
On the share screen thing, you can hit like multiple present or however you
Oh,
want to do it.
there you go. Yeah, I did that. So try that.
Boom. Got it.
Okay.
All right. So everybody should be able to see my iPad screen here, hopefully.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Well, I always start these demos out by saying, from a very high level, we took two apps that are commonly used and blended them together. We've got a video analysis app for doing, the side-by-side comparisons, line drawings, things like that you've seen maybe Coach's Eye in the past has been around for a long time. And then we combine that with a private chat messaging tool, just like texting or, iMessage or whatever messaging app you use. And so we blend those two things together to be both a video analysis tool and a communication platform. And we've given you capabilities to maintain one-on-one communication with your students, as well as some really handy tools for doing bulk communication to groups of students. So that's kind of what I want to walk you through here real quick. And essentially, again, from a high level, the coach would typically use an iPad. You'll need an iPad or iPhone, but iPad is definitely the preferred device. And we've focused on the Apple platform for the coach just so we can move as fast as possible. But we do have an Android app that's really quite complete that your students can use. It just lacks some of the fancier features like voiceovers and side-by-sides that typically your student wouldn't need. So coaches would use iPad, students can use iPad or iPhone, Android. And then we also have a web app where you can log in and get all access to your videos and such and communicate with students just using a web browser too. So just know that that's kind of the structure. And what you're looking at here is off on the very left side. These are all my students. And you'll notice I have them grouped in what we call collections. So collections are a way to just take a bunch of individuals and lump them together under some kind of theme. Might be Tuesday ladies group, might be my low handicap juniors, whatever. And I'll show you kind of how that works. But in a very nutshell, I just simply, take any student that I've added, like fake Eric Jones here, and you click on them, and now you see these. There's a chat, which is literally looks just like texting. So here's all the videos that I've shared between me and Eric. There's a library, which in this case it's blank, but let me pick somebody that has maybe something. So here's a bunch of videos between me and this person, David Johnson. These are fictitious, random videos. But that is a chronologically sorted set of videos for this particular athlete. And then there's a notes section, which is a way for you to keep notes that are just private to you. Really struggles with their grip. Wife's name is Sally. Stuff that you're going to want to just remind yourself. Maybe you don't see David here for 3 weeks and you're like, what the heck did we even talk about last time? You might have left a note like we were working on shallowing or, rotation or whatever it is. Okay. Simple, quick and dirty notes, private to you, just easy text, wife is Jane, right? Right. But it's right there and it's just handy. And then the other piece here is book lesson. So we don't do lesson booking, but we give you the ability in your OnForm profile to add a URL to whatever app you use. Maybe it's USchedule, maybe it's Calendly, maybe it's Google Calendar. There's a million of them out there. We didn't want to build yet another one. So we just said, heck, if you put your URL in, this book lesson link will show up for your students. And they're one click away from, booking another appointment with you right there in the app. And they don't have to go anywhere else and figure out what website you use, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just a nice way to be always relevant there for booking your next appointment, your next lesson. But suffice to say, when I'm done with old David here, I can swipe to the right, and then I can go find any other one of my students. And again, there's all of the videos that I took of this case, Nate, and it's all saved chronologically. There's the chat. There's all the videos that I've shared back and forth with him. Looks just like texting. And again, the idea is to have a communication tool all built in with your analysis tools. Now, to add a student from the get-go, we'll come up here and hit this little plus button and say add new person. And the last demo I did today was a swimmer. So I'm going to pick golf, and it always remembers the sport and the role. So golfer. And we'll put in Barb Smith. Okay. And then you'll notice down here I have background photos. So I can upload, or you can upload pictures from, maybe it's your logo, maybe it's your club logo, or a picture of a golfer, whatever you want. We'll take the little OnForm hat logo and use it. And now I'm going to hit next. And so the process here is, because we do app to app sharing, we need to get Barb connected to me. Okay. So just like any other app on the planet, Facebook, if you wanted to Facebook message a random guy walking down the street, two things have to happen. Number one, that guy needs to have Facebook. And number two, you have to be friends. Same with Instagram, same with Snapchat, same with texting, same with WhatsApp. So we're going to accomplish that here in this process. I've added Barb, and I'm going to hit send invite. All it does is it generates a link on the server, and then it hands it back to my messaging apps. Okay, so I could text it to her, I could hit mail, and we just pre-fill out a message, but this is using your email. So your email has to be configured on the device. And the beauty of this is it comes from you. This does not go through our servers. So there's a 99% chance it does not go into spam. It's going to come from somebody that they're familiar with. It's not going to come from, OnForm linking at onform.com, whatever. It just comes from you. It's a regular email. So you'd put in Barb's email here, and you'll see it says, "Hi Barb, please connect with me in the app by tapping this link." She'll get the email, tap that link. It takes her to the App Store, to the OnForm page, install OnForm, log in, and as soon as she logs in, it's going to say, "Would you like to connect with Coach Gear?" And she'll say yes. You get a notification, and boom, you've now got her the OnForm app, and you've become friends, right? She's accepted your invite, so you've linked together. So let's just imagine that's happened, because Barb's fake. I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to cancel out of there, but it's going to create the Barb Smith workspace. It goes straight to the library, and it allows you to start recording videos. So I'm going to record a video. Give me just a second. I'll show you what I'm doing later, but here we are in my office. I have a nice simulator room that I get to work in every day. And I record a video. That video lands on the library, and it automatically backs itself up to the cloud. Okay. Now this is private by default, meaning this is my library of Barb Smith. Okay. She does not see this. So I might be taking several videos of her on the lesson tee or whatever. She hits one really good, and maybe I want to share that one to her. So you'll see up here, it says 0 shared, 1 private, and 1 is pending upload. Okay. It's uploaded now. Check mark with a cloud. You don't have to wait for it to upload, but I can now, if I want to share this to Barb, I long press the video thumbnail. Here we are. I get this little menu. I'm going to hit share. There's Barb's name, and then I can type a little message if I want, optional. Good swing. And hit send. And what that does is puts that video in the chat. Okay, so that's the communication process. You can record as much as you want in the library, and then whichever video you want, you can share to her, which then makes it appear in the chat. She gets a notification, taps on it, and can come and play this, video in the player, just like you would do on any, text message or anything else. So that's a quick run through of how to add a student, how to do a simple recording and share it to them, and kind of the very basics of these features over here. Let me pause there and see if there's any questions just on the setup or anything like that so far. And if there is a question, someone should.
Yeah, I got one.
Go ahead.
The book a lesson, that's cool. Where did you say I could find that is it in settings?
Yeah, so if you go back to the home, this is your profile icon way up here in the left corner of home. Yep. So if you click on that and then click on edit profile, you'll see under your name, there's a lesson booking website here, and I've just put in my Calendly link. And this is also where you can upload background photos. You just hit the play. You can use multiple ones if you want. So that's your profile spot right there. Also upload a picture of yourself on this icon here.
Yep.
Any other questions so far? All right. So we'll switch back here just because I happen to have a video handy. So here I am just in my fake own student account that I goof around with a lot. And you'll notice, I want to just kind of point your attention to, see how this video has a cloud with a down arrow? So that means the video lives in the cloud, and that if I want to watch it, I have to tap on it and it will fetch it off the cloud. Just like any old Apple photo or Apple video that you have, we are constantly managing the storage on your local device. Okay, so if we didn't manage the cloud and back up to the cloud, your iPad or iPhone would fill up in days because videos are huge. Okay, now you'll notice here, this video has a cloud with a down arrow. So that means that video is immediately available. So I can click on it and up into the video player it comes. Now, you've seen other features where I can drag this yellow icon in order to, scrub quickly through it. I can do the frame by frame thing using the little slider wheel here. I can also control it carefully by just clicking on these little arrows. So that's literally one frame at a time. There's drawing tools up here in the corner. Okay, so here I have an angle tool, a line tool. If I click the actual tool itself, it opens up this submenu, and you can choose other tools like the line angle tool, for example, where it'll actually just show you the angle directly of that line itself to horizontal. Okay, or I can do a circle. I can also pinch zoom using 2 fingers, right? If I really want to zoom in and point at my hands or something like that. Okay. Now, the tools you've seen, various tools, this is an arrow tool, that club's going to go like this, and my feet are going to go that way, and my head's pointed that, whatever you want to do. There's also our skeleton tracking feature where for visualization purposes, you can turn that on and it will do that automatically using this little button up here. And then I can also do comparisons. So I can hit compare, I can hit add, and then I can choose any other video I want to compare with. For example, this one. Okay, so now I have 2 videos where, I can look at this swing and look at this swing, whatever I want to do there. I can also overlay them. See this button here? So using 2 fingers, I can even drag and move these things around a little bit just to get them wherever I want. That controls the opacity, the slider here. So maybe I want to move that one more into the middle. These aren't obviously very good videos to show overlapping, but if you keep the camera in a fixed position, you can tell very much 2 different swings. Maybe you're working on sway or something like that. This is a great way to demonstrate that, here, here, you can still draw lines wherever you need to. Just showing you some of the tools of overlap and compare. Then this all really, I can tap edit. I can remove one of these, go back to just a single video, whatever I need to do. And oh, by the way, if you like doing these things vertically, so it takes up, depending on how you film, just rotate your iPad, right? I'm literally rotating the iPad depending on, the type of format layout you want. But then this culminates into a voiceover, right? So you guys are probably familiar with that, but if I hit this button here, it talks about recording a screen, a microphone, I hit that. The red bar comes on here and it's now recording everything I do. So as I scrub around on the video, I can draw a line or, measure an angle of some sort, move these things wherever I want. And I can also turn on the skeleton, maybe clear these off, move that around like that. If I hit compare, notice it paused the voiceover video because you don't want the voiceover to contain you dinking around looking for a video to compare with. So it's paused the voiceover. I can now go look for a video to compare with by hitting add, and I can go find, some other video that I've done. I don't know, how about this baseball player even for fun of it? So now I can compare a baseball swing to my golf swing, and we're going to pause him right there. And now I'm going to hit resume. Okay, so now we're back to talking. I've got two things lined up. I can do more drawings, angles, lines, as I see fit. Get off of that guy. There we go. Get off of there. Okay. And then I can do the overlay while I'm, doing a voiceover. And again, I can move those around with two fingers. I can also turn on this instructor cam, as we call it. So here I am live talking. Maybe I'm trying to talk to my student and tell him, I want your wrist like this, not like this or that, or, you can make demonstrations here, or you can just have a more personable voiceover because they can see your face. And you're actually talking to your student, while you're pointing out different things with their swing and, I can move this screen around. Maybe I'll put it right in the middle and be like, hey, Bob, I really, I like your position here, but, when it gets there, your hands are too far over. So whatever. You can turn that back off. I can turn that off, keep talking. And when you're done, I'm going to hit stop. And it's immediately available. It's on here and it's now recording everything I do. So as I scrub around on the video, I can draw a line or okay. So I'm going to hit save. I'll call this sample comparison. I don't have to give it a title if I don't want to. And hit save. It assumes you want to share that video with your student, so it pulls up the sharing screen here. This happens to be my student gear. And I can say, good job today. See you next week. And hit send. And so now we've taken a video during the lesson, we've recorded it into a voiceover, and you can see here in the chat, it places that video in the chat. It puts the title of it right here on the slide itself. And then, your student, as soon as it finishes uploading to the cloud, will be able to just open it up and play it through just like any normal video. And, for example, here's that comparison where I paused it. If I hit compare, okay, so now we're back to talking. I've got two things. So it's very smooth and very fluid. I can do more drawings, angles. And then your student watches it and can reply back and say, hey, I didn't understand what you mean by shallow. Could you explain that more? Or, whatever the conversation is. But it's all kept here inside the app, and it's all contextual with the history of everything right here. So that's kind of the full feedback loop of either you recording the video live, with your student on the lesson tee, or even having your student record video of themselves on the range and forwarding, sending it a video to you through the app for you to then review and get back to the student. So whether it's in person or remote, we try and make that asynchronous process really smooth and easy. recognize we're not a replacement for Zoom like we're doing now, where I'm live. 1 minute of my time is 1 minute of my time, but where you're on with an athlete, or like we are now. But our tool is really meant for asynchronous communication of video back and forth. I've got a few more things to show you, but I'm going to pause again and see what questions you have.
You're just a feedback is that when you send that sample lesson, when your student reads or watches it, you get a notification as the instructor saying, hey, Gear Fisher's watched the voiceover.
That's correct.
Yeah,
And
which is really cool to know your students watching a video, right? That you've taken the time to do.
yeah, and I can long press on a video, and you can see down here in the corner it says not read yet. This is a fake one, but you'll actually be able to see who read it, and like said, Mark, the notification will come through, and you'll be able to use that as well.
Hey, Gear, can you just go over the tags as well?
Sure.
I find that useful. I keep my students all 7-irons face on. If you can just go over that, please.
Yeah, so you can see under here there are little tags. It says Gear is the person, 3-wood, launch data, 6-iron, etc. So if you long press a video and press edit tags, you can tag the video, like maybe it's a 7-iron, maybe they hit it in the center and they drew it. Okay, so now you've added this tag information, and what's so powerful about that is I can go into the search and we surface up all the tags you've used. Or I can type. So if I type DR, and click on draw, there's every video that I've tagged with a draw. So it allows you to more easily go find videos that you might want to compare with or use just for research. You can also, if you import your own videos of pros or yourself, you can also use it to organize your own videos so that you can easily go find, oh man, I recorded 10 videos that are all about how to get out of a sand trap or something. And so you could tag them sand trap and be able to go find them more easily. So between tags and then also titles, if I hit edit title, smashed my 7-iron. So the title is also a useful thing. Again, it's just descriptive information for what's happening in the video. And I can come up here and simply start typing SMA. Oh yeah, there's that one where I smashed my 7-iron, right? So it's just fast indexing and finding. And you'll note if I go over here and go to the top, I have this library all files. So normally everything is saved by student, okay? But if I go to library all files, this is every video of every student that I have. In this case, I have some 2,000 videos in here. But I can hit search and tap on 7, and I'm going to tap 7-iron, and it just filtered every 7-iron of every student I've ever recorded, right here. So it's very easy to use for searching and finding, and we're just trying to make it so that every video you record doesn't go and die on your camera roll, basically, right? It gives you a way to go find a video that you recorded months or years ago, pull it up for comparison, keep it organized. Let's compare your 7-iron today to your 7-iron 6 months ago. Things like that. Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, Gear, I had a question. This is impressive stuff. I mean, the tagging for naming conventions and searching is really cool. The skeletal reference is pretty awesome too. But I'm glad I was kind of thinking about space management, those kind of things, and you kind of covered that. But what I was wondering, when you pulled up that video and you started drawing lines on, drawing different things on there, that was the cloud-based video that you were editing and drawing that stuff on? It wasn't a video downloaded on your device. You could edit the cloud-based one. Is that correct?
Not quite. So
Okay.
In order to play a video, it has to reside on your device.
Okay.
The key is that we back up and automatically sync everything to the cloud. Okay. So just like Apple does, they never ask you where you want to save a video. It just goes to iCloud, and whatever device you log in on your Mac or your iPad, it's just there, right?
Yeah.
We do the same thing, but to be clear, you have to, and because we do frame by frame scrubbing, the video itself, for us to play it, has to be on your device. So we have to fetch it off the cloud, then you can play it, scrub it, do whatever you need to do. When you're recording that voiceover, it's recording locally on your device, but then we back it up to the cloud automatically. So we just take care of that part for you. But to be clear, when you're working and editing, that all has to reside locally.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was just curious. I thought it
Yeah.
looked like you were doing it from a cloud-based one. That would have been out of this world. But no, I understand. I think it's great that it all gets backed up and you can just re-access it anytime you need it. You know, that's pretty cool. Okay.
I've got a question.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm on the lesson team. The Wi-Fi is too far away. What can I do?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, you can still use the app entirely. I'll go to airplane mode here and turn off my internet. Sometimes it still tries to access internet because I'm plugged into my laptop, but you can use the app fully offline. So you can add a student, you can record videos, you just won't be able to invite the student. Okay, so you'll need to wait till you get back online to
Probably
invite
can't
them.
do a comparison either.
You can do a comparison, certainly, but you'll only be able to access videos that have a cloud with a check mark, meaning they are local on your device. But we've thought of this a little bit because what if you have a reference video that you always like to use for showing whatever, 6 irons?
Mm-hmm.
You want to make sure that video is on your device, okay, even when you're offline. So, and by the way, we use this reference content folder. This is where I always suggest people upload their reference videos and drills and things like that. And then you can tag them and it's just easy, always easy to find. But if you star a video like this one, when you star a video, it denotes to our software, hey, don't archive this one to the cloud. So our archiving process is going to skip a starred video so that this video is always available to you offline.
Good.
So
Okay.
if you have key ones, just star them and they'll always be available on your device, even when you're offline. And by the way,
One
go
more
ahead.
question.
Yeah.
Do you have a pro library of swings?
Yes, but admittedly, it's quite old, and it'll when you create an account, we'll automatically upload them. Here you can see some of the swings, but the answer is always the same. When I talk to people, we make it very easy to just screen record whatever golfer you want off of Instagram or YouTube or wherever you want to go source it. You can screen record it and then pull it into your reference content folder. So for example, I can hit import and say camera roll, and I can go fetch any video off of my camera roll itself straight away. So as long as you can screen record it, and get it to your camera roll, you can import it like here, and I'll say add, and it'll pull that video up into your reference content here and be available for you to use.
Good. Thank you.
Sure. And just to finish off that concept about offline, if any existing customer you have, right, say it's Hank Wilson, you can go and you'll be able to select him and record him. You can even share a video. And then when you get back online, it will remember that and it will go through the sharing. It'll queue up all the shares and then automatically share everything for you. So your workflow can be the same offline. You do all your stuff, you get back online, and boom, it's going to send out all the sharing notifications, etc. So we've tried to make sure we think about that. All right. Any other questions there? Let's talk about some of the camera recording features. These are some of my favorite things. So there's my coffee mug, but let's talk about this. So the normal way to record video is just start, stop, right? So we have these different modes over here: manual, start, stop. We have an Apple iWatch app that'll allow you to remotely start and stop the camera, which is pretty nice. You can also use a Bluetooth trigger button. You can adjust some settings, like here, if I click on 720/30, we allow access to all the different lenses and different frames per second that your device can manage. So you can go to 1080, 240 if you want. You can use ultra wide, which is really handy in a confined space. So it gives you a wider view. So like for that face-on view, if you're in a hitting bay and you only have 5 feet between the student and the wall, ultra wide is your friend. It works great, where you can mount the iPad and still get them, or your iPhone, and still capture their whole body. And then a really killer feature that we have is this guy right here, this plus minus. It says auto. So we're all looking for really clear video of the shaft, right? We want the least amount of motion blur possible. And motion blur actually has nothing to do with the FPS that you choose, like 240 FPS. Motion blur is only managed by using a fast shutter speed. And shutter speed is a derivative of how much light you have on the subject, but we actually give you the ability to manually control the shutter speed. Okay, and let me show you the difference that makes. So here, and just for purposes of demonstration, I'm going to record at our lowest FPS setting, 30 FPS. So if I do this and I move my hand, the resulting video, as you can imagine, you can see it's dark here in Colorado, but the resulting video is a ton of motion blur, right? Just to be expected. And I mean, I have the lights off in my studio. There's just some lights over my desk here, but I'm going to change that, and I'm going to drag that shutter speed way down. And you can see it's getting darker and darker. So I'm actually going to brighten the scene with ISO, okay? And it's a balance between how fast and how dark you can get it and how grainy it gets. But now if I do that same video, check it out. The difference is pretty remarkable. Here's my fingers doing the same thing. And the lighting I have is really quite poor. But you can see my fingers are, very, very clear. So you can use shutter speed, especially if you're teaching indoors, to get incredibly good stop motion video, even under rather poor lighting conditions. Now, it won't always be perfect, but it'll be dramatically better than if you just use the standard Apple camera or the automatic shutter speed settings that Apple would want you to do. Apple is always balancing for the prettiest picture. We'll give up some graininess or maybe some lack of clarity for the clearest. I shouldn't say clarity, but we want the best stop motion video so we can see the shaft, the hands, the wrist, etc. at impact. All right. So just showing you that the shutter speed setting is going to be a big friend. Now we have some other modes. I'll go to one tap. What's cool about this, and I'm just going to go ahead and reset this so it's a little brighter. So instead of hitting start and stop, one tap mode is neat because you actually only tap the record button once at impact. Okay, so if your typical recording is, okay, Sally, take a swing, and it just heard my voice activation, but because I said start video, you can hit this record button as she impacts, and it actually goes back in time, the number of pre-tap duration seconds here. It says 2 seconds. And then it waits for 2 seconds of live video. So in other words, instead of hitting start, telling Sally to take a swing, and she waggles around and looks down the range and takes a deep breath and then swings, and then you hit stop. And now you've got a 15-second video that you have to trim and scrub through. You can use one tap mode, and you simply hit the button as they impact, the golf ball, and it's going to capture a perfect 4-second video. Okay, 4 seconds, centered at the moment they impact the ball. So you get a perfect clip of just the swing, and you only tap it once, as its name implies, one tap recording. So it's kind of a mind bender because what we're doing is constantly taking in the video feed. And then when you hit the start button, we actually go back in time and clip it. And then we wait forward for a couple seconds and clip it. So boom, you've now got a perfect video of just the action you want. Super useful, especially in golf. Auto detect is a nice feature where if I set up the iPad on a tripod, I simply move into that frame and the software does the rest. It'll recognize when your student takes a swing. It'll automatically take a video of the swing, and then it'll play it back in slow motion and wait for the next swing to happen. I might even be able to test that for real here by going into, I'm hopefully going to make this work live. I'm going to open up the app and I'm going to go to that same, I'm literally going to get my iPhone here. I'm going to open up a video of me swinging. It's got to download it real quick. But check this out. So there I am. See how it just turned green? It just recognized that there's a human in the frame. I'm going to hit play on my phone. It recognized that. It automatically took the video of it, and it's playing it back in slow motion, and it's waiting over here in the picture-in-picture frame for the next swing. Okay? So you'll see here that it created its own clip. If I dismiss this, there's the 3-second video of just the golf swing that I did. So normally that would just be your student in the frame. It automatically grabs it and boom. So you could be on AirPlay to a TV in your studio like I have here. You can maybe just see it up in the corner there in the center. So you could be AirPlaying your iPad screen to that TV while they're taking a swing, and instantly hands-free, there's a slow motion replay of every swing that your student takes while you're in the studio. And oh, by the way, you could use 2 devices and capture both angles simultaneously in order to get both down the line and face on at the same time. And then I can do stuff like this. I can hit select and pick this one. Let's say that one's face on and this is down the line. I pick these 2, and then I can hit compare, and it snaps those 2 automatically into the playback screen. Okay, so I could hit link, and now I can drive both videos at the same time using the same time wheel. So just trying to show you some of the more powerful tools here. And then savvy viewers may have seen something on my iPhone, which I'm going to plug into here and show you what's coming, because this is a new mode. Zoom will play nice and switch to my iPhone. Aha! So check this out. On my iPhone, this is a beta version that we have, and you'll notice there's actually a new mode called Launch Monitor. You're the first to hear it, but we just integrated with a Garmin R10, little radar-based device, and we can now pick up the data from the R10 and display it with every video, and that looks like this. You'll see on my swing here, I was filming from kind of the side, but there's ball speed, backspin, club attack angle, club face angle, et cetera, and that's all captured wirelessly from the Garmin R10. And similarly, if I go into launch monitor mode, it will automatically capture the swing videos all hands-free and do the same thing, play it back in slow motion. But now I'm getting actual ball and club data for every swing embedded on every swing, so I can have a much more impactful conversation with my student, because now I have the swing information. Okay, I have the visualization there. I have all the objective data of the ball flight, club path, and oh, by the way, we can now also turn on live angle tracking. So here I'm tracking the angle of my knee as I make that swing. So those are 2 big new features that we're coming out with in the next week, which is the angle display and the Garmin R10 integration for launch monitor data.
That is brilliant.
That's good.
Where we really see this coming in is with your students, right? The Garmin R10 it's a $600 device US. Where we really see the power of this, certainly you can use it as a coach. But imagine your students that you might be working with being able to now send you videos that contain ball and club data remotely. So you have so much more information at your hands to help them, explain why their club path was a certain thing, why the spin was certain. It just makes your conversation so much more objective. Now, you might still use a TrackMan or Flight Scope fancy thing in your practice. Hopefully, we'll get it integrated with them as well someday too. But the R10 is going to be awesome for remote conversations. And I mean, I test it next to my GC3 every day, and it's surprisingly accurate how good that little Garmin is, and it's only going to get better. If you know anything about Garmin and their history in the endurance space, when they rolled out their first GPS watch, they were nothing but relentless in their pursuit of improving GPS data through watches, and they now absolutely dominate the running market when it comes to tracking pace and heart rate and power meters and things like that. So with them coming into golf like they have in the last couple of years, I can only imagine they're just going to get better and better. And we are the first non-simulator app to integrate with Garmin. So we're really proud of that. And we'll be announcing this next week.
Sweet. Gear question. You kind of mentioned quick about the voice activation. Is there a setting to get that started?
No, when you first, so when I'm on manual, okay, so if, I don't know if I have it on my phone here, but if I say start recording, it did. And when I say stop recording, it does. So you can remotely trigger the start stop events. There it goes. Stop recording with your voice. And it gives you a little flash. See if I hold it here. So let's say your phone is located on a tripod and you say start recording. That tells you that it heard you and that it's recording. See that little flash? Because you might be over with your student helping them with their hands or doing whatever. Stop recording. Okay, it's just telling you that it heard you. So it's yet another way that we give you to interact with your device in order to capture video. And there they all are. There's those videos that we just captured. All right, we've talked about some of the video analysis tools, the voiceover capability, the some of the recording modes, adding a student. The last thing I want to talk about is group messaging. So you'll see how I have these people grouped into what we call a collection, like Sandtrap Skills Camp or Wednesday Masters. So you can come up here and tap on that edit button and create your own collection, which we'll call add new collection. Let's see if I get it right. CGTF.
Yep.
And then I'm going to go pick people, right? So let's say Alan and Arnold and I don't know, Chris Everett and Danny Noonan and David Jones, right? So I'm just picking the people from my existing individuals list and say add. So now I have a group called CGTF where these are still 7 or whatever, 8 individual workspaces that I used, okay? But now watch this. If I tap those little 3 dots, I can broadcast a message. So this is similar to what we were doing before in the chat, but now I can say, hi, everybody. Hi, everyone. Here's a video drill, whatever. And I can hit the little folder icon, import from camera roll, grab this random video, and send that through like that. So what that just did is, unlike a there we go. So I just uploaded that video and I hit that button 5 times because I wasn't sure it was working, but it definitely was. I can long press any message and delete it too, by the way. It's a good example. I did that on purpose so I could demonstrate how to delete a message from the chat. There we go. So what's cool is, unlike a group text, where if you had 10 people on a group text, it instantly turns into a nightmare. We just injected that message, that video into everybody's individual chat. Okay? So that if one of them replies, hey, and I'm actually going to mark that as unread because I'm replying to myself, you'll get a little red badge like this in the collection and be like, oh, David had a question. And these students won't even know that they're in a collection. The collection is for your organizational benefit, and it allows you to bulk message them in private, but to do it in bulk. And then if they have a question, you can now carry on a continued conversation with David privately in the chat. Okay. So it gives you these tools for bulk communication, making it easier to send a single drill video out on a Tuesday night to everybody or whatever you want to do, and yet still maintain that private one-to-one feeling. Okay. And oh, by the way, if I hit edit, you can also group people into things like old clients. See that down here? And I've even got that turned off. So I don't want to delete my old clients because they might come back, but I move them to this old clients collection, and then I hide it from my home screen so that I don't have to see it and muck up my view all the time. So collections are really useful for grouping people. You can change the order of these things. Like if I hold my finger on those little 3 dots and drag September Clinic to the top, now September Clinic is at the top. CGTF, I can close these, and it'll remember that from app usage to app usage. So just some nice ways to organize your home screen. And you can always go search for people, Danny, right? And you'll see Danny, there's a Danny inside each of these collections. I'd have to open that up. Oh, Danny Noonan, there we go. And away you go. Okay. And people can be in multiple collections at once. So you might have a junior that's in your juniors collection, but they're also a 4 handicap, so they might be in your low handicappers collection as well. It's just a very powerful way to maintain these individual connections in a group sort of format or a collection. And then lastly, you might see here down below, this is Danny Noonan, but let's suppose he's a 14-year-old. Well, mom and dad might really want to be involved in his coaching as well. So you can actually see how down at the bottom it says members, Harry Jones and Sally Jones. I can add the mom and dad or another coach, etc., by hitting that little circle with 3 dots and saying add person manually. And I can add another person in here, and that role, maybe their role is parent. So I can say Karen Smith, whatever. And I'm going to say add without sending invite. And so now there's Karen added to this workspace. And now I could chat directly with Karen, or you'll notice there's an everyone group. So any videos I put into the everyone group will go to everybody. They'll all get notifications when I do that. So it's kind of like a miniature team built around your student, Danny Noonan, where you can have the mom, the dad, the stepdad, maybe it's a putting coach, maybe you're coaching a college kid and the college kid's coach has him added to the Auburn team, but they invite you in as the swing coach to his workspace from the university side, right? So there's nice ways to tie in other people into the coaching that are interested in the coaching of this particular student. All right, hopefully your brains are scrambled and you've forgotten most of what I said, but if you start playing around, I promise it gets pretty easy to figure out the basics. And we're always here for support. We do over on the home screen under that little circle dot more icon have support, tutorial videos, our features blog, etc. And you know my email address. So from now on, you can email me anytime. But let me open it up to more questions. I love how attentive you guys have been.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I noticed on your drawing tools, they're different on what's on my app. What version do you have?
So they'll be the same essentially, but the difference is that mine are arranged differently. So just for clarity here, let's go back to wherever I have a video. When I hit the plus button, These 5 that you see here are shortcuts, right? So if I want to immediately start drawing a red line, I do that. If I tap the circle, I can do yellow circles. If I tap it again, maybe I really like white circles. Okay, so now my shortcuts are going to be red line, green angle tool, white circle. So these are the 5 shortcuts you like to use the most. Maybe you really love using rectangles. So I'm going to do rectangle, I'll tap it again and make it green. So you love using rectangles to frame stuff, and you love blue arrows to point things out. That's why it looks different. It's because I've chosen 5 different shortcuts or 5 different main tools than what you have, but we'll both have access to all the same tools.
All the same tools.
Underneath.
Okay, so is there a newer version? I'm just looking at my version. It's 3.0.2.13.
That's the most recent production version in the App Store.
So there's no difference. Okay, so I should be able to find everything you just described and talked about on here somewhere. Perfect.
Yeah, with the exception of the launch monitor stuff and the ability to tap an angle on the little skeleton and see the angle automatically.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
I love the app, by the way.
Thank you. Other questions? Solve the world's problems, I guess, right?
Hello?
Yeah, hi, go ahead.
When you answered Greg's question pertaining to the angle monitor and stuff like that, is that an addition or is that an added? Can you add that on to existings?
Yeah, as soon as you get the new version, as soon as we release this new version, you'll automatically get access to it.
Okay.
What did you say the total cost of the app was?
The total cost is $30 a month for a coach or $300 per year. That gets you, the coach, unlimited students, unlimited videos, and all of your students use the app for free while they're connected to you, so they can record their own videos and share them to you through the app.
And how does one get the app then?
From the App Store, the Apple App Store.
Oh, that's great.
Is that Canadian or US?
That's US, and you will pay VAT or tax, whatever you guys do up there. So it will be more.
Here it goes.
We definitely pay tax.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Don't blame me for that one. That's
one of the cool things, Gear, is you've been pretty good. Is if somebody doesn't teach in the winter, they can suspend their license, for lack of a better term, until they start teaching up again outdoors. If they're but it also, from my understanding, when you're on kind of holiday, you don't have to lose all your stuff or access to it. You just can't create new. Is that correct?
That's exactly right, Mark. So if you're on a monthly subscription and then you cancel your subscription, basically all you're doing is stopping your next payment. Okay. And once your subscription expires, we don't block you from accessing your videos, your existing data, your students. You'll still be able to open the app and view any video that you've recorded. You just won't be able to record a new one. Okay. And your students won't be able to go to the range and use it for free. They'll be able to view any video that they currently have, but we just block you from using all the features for new videos. You still access everything old. And so you basically have 12 months. If you subscribe within the next 12 months, you just pick right back up where you left off and away you go. If you wait longer than 12 months, we end up deleting your data and clearing everything off. So you've got a year to renew your subscription, accounting for seasonality and things like that was our thinking. We try to be very lenient on that, and we don't want to hold your videos hostage. You can export them to your camera roll anytime, import videos, etc. It's just a matter of when your subscription expires, you can't record new ones.
What's the name of the app, Gare?
OnForm.
Say that again.
OnForm, ONF as in Frank, ORM.
Well, Gear, I think you've been great. I use this app almost every day, all summer, and sometimes in the winter inside. And I learned a lot tonight. So that just shows how much capabilities the app has. But I think the guys that do use it would say how impressive the students' feedback is afterwards, is seeing what they're doing wrong and how you can help them when they're doing stuff right, how you can kind of build off that as well. It's tremendous.
Yeah, I can actually add to that. I've been using it, and the feedback. I think one thing that's amazing is the user experience. So if you have people that are more or less technically literate, it's not like the learning curve is huge. Like I've had tremendous feedback from people and just the ease of use. I also have a bunch of snowbirds right now sending me video. Their things are going sideways in Florida or Arizona, so I'm getting videos left from various students. It's a great way to stay in touch with them over the winter season if you don't necessarily have access to a sim or a training facility. And I have personally, I've reached out to Gear a number of times with some minor issues, and the company is very responsive. So I really recommend it. And coming from someone who's pretty much jaded on technology, it really speaks to the quality of this app.
Thank you very much, Dan. Appreciate it. We really do. There's a team. There's not just me. There's 3 or 4 others on the support team. This is all we do. We're not funded by venture capital or anything like that. We are totally private, self-funded, profitable, small, growing company. 12 employees now, and we just love building stuff and seeing people get value out of it. So that's really who we are. Greg asked if there's a yearly price. Yeah, if you pay by year, it's $300. So you save basically 2 months worth of payments if you buy a year. So $30 a month or $300 a year USD pre-tax.
There's also some plans if you have multiple instructors as well, I believe, too. I think that's what the CGTF has.
Yeah. We do groupings. Like if you have 3 or more, we call it that our academy subscription. It gets you a good discount. So yeah, there's definitely ways to make it easier. Most of those are on a yearly basis.
Yeah.
If you end up, wanting to pool funds or whatever and put multiple people together, basically it makes it so that you can pay once and then invite your assistant coaches, if you will, and they all get an account through you or through that single payment. You kind of become the payment administrator. And we can do that for, groups of however many big you get. Topgolf is one of our biggest customers. They've got 100 and some odd facilities around the country, and they all the coaches at Topgolf use our app. So they, we have an enterprise account with them, and they distribute it as they see fit.
Hey, Gear, just going back to the Garmin R10, would you comment, is that going to be compatible to somebody buying a personal launch monitor? You said you were using it indoors next to your own. So if a golf coach instructor purchased one of those watches, they wouldn't need a launch monitor?
It's not a watch. It's an actual launch monitor. It's
oh, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have it right here under my desk. Let me show you. It is this guy. This little guy. It's a little radar unit. You can see it's like smaller than my hand. It's 2 pieces. This is the actual radar piece, and it's got this really slick little tripod magnetic mount there. So like a TrackMan, or a flight scope, you put this about 6-7 feet behind the ball where you're hitting, and it's a little radar device, and then it connects via Bluetooth to to your iPad or to your iPhone, and you just swing away. It's really slick, and we grab the data, overlay it on the video like I was showing, like you can see here right on the screen.
So, Anybody out there have an R10? I know Dan does.
Yeah, actually, I had a question here. Do you have to go through the Garmin app, or you OnForm actually just detects the R10, or you're having to go through the Garmin Golf app?
No, it's directly through
Wow, that's sweet.
through our app. So I just turned it on here. I'll show you.
That's amazing because most simulators that use the R10, you have to go through the app, and it's very can be quite clunky.
Yeah, watch this. I'll go to launch monitor mode. Come on, don't make a fool out of me. Done.
Wow,
Wow.
that's impressive.
So now you just hit a ball. In fact, I could go take a shot, and it'll capture it automatically. But it's really just that easy.
One of the cool things about the R10 is it's probably even more accurate outside.
Yeah, it's awesome outside. I mean, if you guys are cool with it, I'm gonna go take a swing real quick. Watch this. You guys okay with me doing this?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a little dark. I'll turn on my light here. All right, I put it about, I don't know, 6 or 7 feet behind me. And I'll take a swing. Now recognize this. Can you guys see me in the frame?
Yep. Wow.
I hope it worked.
It did.
There you go. So, and you can turn off the skeleton here, so that's not maybe in there. But there's and it's waiting. That's a little picture-in-picture screen down in the bottom because it's waiting for me to do it again. So it automatically goes into the slow motion playback. I could be airplaying that to a screen. I can dismiss this, and you'll see it's captured it as its own standalone video here that I can play back and look at. Now, one caveat, be an interesting debate amongst all of you golf coaches, is we decided to leave off distance. And the reason we did that is because if you use simulators, every simulator you use is always different than, it's a calculated metric, right? And so depending on what coefficients you use for drag and lift and temperature and density and you get different numbers. And we talked to a few coaches and they said, I'd rather have path, I'd rather have spin, I'd rather have club face. That'll help instruct more of what's going on than whatever computed distance you get. And if you want, and this is another thing we worked with Garmin on, I can switch between the Garmin app and OnForm and see the data on both. So we do not, because we didn't want to add yet another calculation to the fray. Well, like if I use GS Pro, I get 152. If I use Garmin, it's 163. If I use, Awesome Golf, it's 149. Like, it's all math. It's whatever math you believe in. So these are all of the things that the device measures. Distance is a calculated derived number, and we were like, let's just go with the absolute truth, which is what's being measured, and that's all these things. Now, hopefully, we're not shooting ourselves in the leg because we're coach first. We're trying to build tools for coaches to use, and so hopefully the distance one isn't a big hiccup. I think if we were a consumer version, that'd be the first number they want to see is how far did I hit it. But hopefully, as you guys are working with them to improve their swing, some of this data could be more useful.
Question. And as Dan mentioned earlier about having videos sent to him from somewhere else, how is that compatible with your program?
Yeah, so when you create a student here, and let's use somebody that's not my name just so you can understand. Like Nate here, when I go to his library, these are all videos that I've either captured or that he shared with me. So Nate has the OnForm app and he can use it to record himself and then share a video to me. So the same way that I take a video, okay, and I'll just go to the manual mode. let it catch up here for a second. Come on. When I'm on a Zoom, things get a little goofy, but come on, get through there. Okay, so when I record a video here, that video lands in the library for Nate, but it's private. So your student can do the same thing. They can record themselves, and then they can long press it and hit share, and it comes back to me. Okay, so they do the same feature, but just in reverse. They're gonna see your name here. So just like if you were texting them, you would see their name and send them a message. They would see your name and send a message. So you're going to see the student's name. They're going to see your name, then be able to record video under your name and send you the video. So look at that. Nate just sent me a video back or a message back. Thanks, coach. So I'm live communicating with Nate, who's in South Carolina, and he could record a video and share it via the chat same way. It's just like sending a text message, basically.
So he would actually have to be a student as opposed to just Joe Blow down the street sending me a video?
If you want to use the app to its most efficient, yes, you invite him through that process and he gets the OnForm app and uses the app to record. But
yeah,
if Joe Blow wants to send you a video, they can, but then the question is, how do they send it to you?
Yeah.
If they email it to you, email will only accept certain size videos. If they text it to you, it's going to get condensed down into a lower resolution. Like that's the whole problem with video. It's very large. So we invented this platform so that you could kind of always keep everything in full HD quality. They can record easily and then share it directly app to app. And that's certainly the best way to do it. And oh, by the way, if you're working with a customer that just doesn't use an app or is maybe older or whatever, you can record videos of that person and then share them. When I long press and hit share, I can hit that little circle with 3 dots up in the corner and say copy link, or I can say share via email, and it will create a link that they can click on to view that video on a web player. Okay. They won't have all the scrubbing features and all that, but this is a way that you could share a video to somebody using a link, and then they use our web player to actually view that video, so they don't have to install the app. So there are ways around using our app-to-app communication. It's probably the easiest, but some people just don't want to deal with an app, and you can just send them a link if you'd like.
Awesome stuff.
Cool. All right. Anything else?
Yeah, I'll come back to this tablet thing again. Gear, we've had some emails in the last week or two about types of tablet and whatever like that, okay? So I guess from the conversations we had with the group before you got there, I'm kind of going more Apple now than I was the other. So what's the, we don't need an iPro. How low down can I go? Like I'm looking at i9. Am I asking the right questions?
I think the terminology is basically how low of a model of iPad can you get to make it work? You can get the cheapest iPad out there for $329 and it will work. Okay. You'll be able to video people. You'll be able to use the app. You won't be able to use 240 frames per second. You won't be able to do wide angle. It lacks some of the camera lenses that the fancier versions have. Will it work? Yeah, it'll work, but it just kind of, it's like anything computer. The more you spend, the fancier, the faster it is, the more little bells and whistles it has, and the longer it's going to last. We're always pushing the limit, the boundary of what Apple can do. They release new operating systems every year. Eventually, the lowest end iPad will stop working with whatever their iOS release is. If you have an iPad, right now, a 2018 iPad Pro still works very well with OnForm. That's about as old as it gets. That's 5 years. In computer time, that's like the Paleolithic era, basically. But it's it's, you know, to get 5 years out of a computer is a pretty darn good thing. And it just depends on kind of how you're going to use it. If it's not your every day, you're going to do 10 lessons a day and in and out, get the low end iPad, and I bet you'll be happy as a clam.
So is there an initial cost to purchasing the software?
It's just the $30 a month, the subscription. There's no like one-time fee or startup cost or anything. It's just a matter of subscribing for $30 a month, or 43. Somebody said in Canadian with tax.
Right.
Gear, thanks so much for all this. I think it was awesome. Good turnout for, people being interested.
Cool.
I don't know. Is there any final questions? Let Gear get back to his evening. We'll have a little couple minute social and talk about just some more stuff about video, and then we'll call it an evening too.
All right. Awesome. Yeah. Sorry again for being late.
No.
But I really appreciate everybody's attention and the opportunity to speak to you all. And gear@onform.com. Pretty easy to remember. You can reach out to us through our support site, or learn more about us at our website, onform.com. And you can download the app for free in the App Store. You can use it for free, up to 10 videos. If you subscribe, we don't charge your card, or Apple doesn't charge your card for 7 days. So you can use it fully unlimited for a week and cancel, and your card won't even get hit. But I really appreciate everyone's time, and thanks again. Really love to have you guys on board. And if you have any feedback, etc., you know where to find me.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thanks again, Mark. Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
So Gears kind of left the building. Just a couple of things that we might want to consider when you're getting into this, if you're not already into it. One of the biggest things is the filming positions, taking video. If you can be consistent with the camera height, with where the camera's pointed, then when you go and do your comparisons later, it's definitely going to be a lot easier to compare apples to apples, sort of thing. So, when Jeff and I are teaching and facilitating, we always try to get people to understand the camera should be in line with the hands, not the body, and not the line of the ball flight. And then if you're face on, again, where the hand position is. So if you have one point of reference, it sure makes it easy to streamline and compare videos. What did everybody think? It was pretty good. I thought he was good.
I guess I know what I'm getting for Christmas.
Oh boy. Yeah.
I thought I saw your name on the naughty list.
Yeah, that's right.
That's somebody else's list.
Oh, is that right? Yeah, I think it's imperative for, like, I don't know everybody's background. I know a few people out there that are doing this more full-time than part-time. So using a tripod and having, again, the same setup over and over again. So if you're going to do those comparisons and overlaps, like his overlays today were kind of like a bit of a kindergarten puzzle, but they really are useful. But you have to make sure, you're just like an X-ray technician. You're doing the same thing over and over again, so you compare exactly what it is that you want to look at in that person's golf swing. So having uniformity is the key to success, and you're not guessing from having different angles and different heights and all of those things. So if you're going to go down this road and make the investment, then being professional, then that's the next step, is to truly be set up like a professional. And, I know Dave Horn had a little plastic thing that he put on a alignment stick. Is that right, Dave? Or you put it on your golf bag? I use a
Yeah,
tripod.
it works
Yeah.
on both.
Yeah. Yeah, there's lots of little things that you can to get. I mean, this is just a miniature one for my phone, but you know, they come on and off, and it just makes it easy and recognizable, and you look very professional out there doing those things.
Awesome.
Found it really interesting. They decided to partner with the Garmin R10.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know why I got confused there because I thought I saw a watch on his table.
Well, he's talking about watches too, eh?
Yeah, and then
That looks like a Google.
that's why I
Dave,
thought
this is a good question for Dave Horn. Do you use OnForm currently?
Yeah, I'm using it all the time.
Yeah, and you have a pressure mat too, eh?
Yeah, I have a body track pressure mat, and with the OnForm, I can put the body track in there through with my swing balance shafts, and it does a
Okay.
load test to see what type of shaft is necessary. So it's a different way of picking a proper shaft for a driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good when you can marry all that stuff together, right?
Yeah.
I use it too. I have a swing balance pressure mat as well. We'll tell Paul though, if you're thinking about getting a mat down the road, the iPad that I have, which is an iPad Pro, and I think it's 2019. And when I got my pressure mat this last winter, it won't connect to the pressure mat because the chip in it is not new enough.
Wow.
So yeah, I have to get a new iPad. But I've been using my phone for it, and it works great on the phone and connects with the pressure mat. Excellent. It does a really good job. Yeah.
Awesome.
I have to go, guys. So thanks for
Yeah.
the info. Very interesting. Learn
Great to
something
see all you
tonight.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Good to see you, Mark.